Shalom, shalom. Put on in, brother. We're the brothers of the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'chak Kodash. This is a lesson that I was supposed to do at home, but my computer been acting up the last couple of days, so I haven't been able to do lessons. So hopefully I had that straightened out tomorrow. So we're just gonna do this real quick because I've been so hot to do it. There's a video that was sent to me by Apostle Elder Ramlab, and then barely 24 hours later, Elder Yashawamba sent me the same video. So I'm gonna do probably a one or two, or maybe a 2 or 3 part video on it. But we're gonna start with it here in the streets, and it's on that Ish David. I mean, the video's about a year old, and it's called Esau's or Edomites' descendants. And this rabbi, I'm going to assume, goes into the history of Jacob and Esau, and he says how Abram is the first Hebrew in the first like 30 seconds of the video. So he went off right there because it's not one Hebrew nation. So he went off on that. Anybody got a scripture you wanna,
I got you. This is Genesis chapter 8, verse 12. This is Genesis chapter 10, verse I'm gonna hit 21. Genesis 10:21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. Alright, and it mentions the father of the children of Eber because out of Eber came a bunch of nations. And those nations are called the Hebrew nations. Alright, because that word Eber, alright, is Ibar. Alright, and that's where the word Hebrew comes from.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna have to do part 2 with the mighty Saint Benjamin. But but that's pretty much it, man. Is there some more to that?
Now I'm gonna grab the Genesis 14. It's Genesis 14:13. There came one that had escaped and told Abram, the Hebrew, when he brought in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. And I'm gonna go to get the Hebrew word for Hebrew right here, which is Ibarian, right? Alright, I'm gonna show you on the screen because it's Ibarian. It says the root word Ibar, same as Eber.
There you go. So everyone who came out of Eber were Hebrews. So there were many. So all Abraham's immediate family, the men in his immediate family, meaning his uncles, his fathers, his first cousins through his father's side, they were all Hebrews. His nephew Lot. As a matter of fact, the story that he was reading about, they were going to get Lot. And Lot was a Hebrew as well. And then Lot had 2 sons named Ammon and Moab, who became the father of the so-called Japanese and Chinese today. So there are many Hebrew nations, man. So that kills that whole Semite thing. The man's name was Shem, all right? It's Shemitic people, all right? And this Ish is just trying to twist the truth, okay?
I just looked at the definition. In the Strong's definition right here, it says, an Eberite, i.e., an example, Hebrew, or descendant of Eber.
So, you can get the freeze frame that, pick a picture of it and send it to me.
We'll do it.
But there it is, man. So this guy, within the first 30 seconds of his intro, goes to show you that he number one, he doesn't know the Bible as well as he thinks he does because he studied the Talmud too much. All right, and second, he's completely lying, brother. You got something? All right, so you got anything, Ariella? So what I want to go into first in this first series, and this is not going to be a long video, is the Hellenists. All right, because there was something that happened. If you can get 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. First Maccabees, the 16th chapter. We're gonna get the account of when John Hyrcanus, all right, because the story of John Hyrcanus is actually you see, I had these books on me because I was gonna do this. It's actually in this book, Who is Esau Edom? All right, the story of John Hyrcanus, and you also can find the story of John Hyrcanus in secular history encyclopedias. All right. As a matter of fact, I have the book History of the Jews by Heinrich Gratz, and it gives you the whole thing about John Hyrcanus and his forced conversion of the Edomites. All right, and which was a mistake, but basically when they forced the Edomites to follow the ways of the Bible, to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Basically, if you're gonna be our servants and live under us, you're gonna worship our power. And so Edomites to this day try to carry on those customs, but they added unto it. Like they started wearing hats and stuff, the whole yarmulke, because according to the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, the crown of your head, which is where a crown goes if you're a king, is supposed to be open, but yet they cover it up. So they do everything that's contrary to what's holy, to what's righteous, man. All right? But the water, brother. But if you would, brother, and you know what? You can grab real quick, because I don't want to make this long. This is just an intro to the series. But you know what? Through the Spirit, brother, I might have to sit down. We're going to do this. But give me that scripture when it talks about how Yahushua will come within 400 years. Okay. I believe that's first and second Ezra, the 4th chapter, I think.
This is Second Ezra 7:28. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
Within 400 years. So that was something that happened in that 400-year period. All right? That was something major that happened. And here's that history. This was the Hellenization of the Israelites, being within the Greek captivity, man. All right? These are Grecians. All right? And when you go to, there's certain words in the Bible that when you go into them, it tells you that where it says Greek, it will give you. A matter of fact, I think Acts 6:1 and Acts 9 and 29 are two of those scriptures. It'll tell you that where it says Grecians, it'll say Greek-speaking Jews when it breaks down the definition. And these were those Greek-speaking Jews. Right. And so in that 400-year period, while under the captivity and control of the Grecians, Jake was Hellenized, and they became they became Hellenized, man. And this is what happened. This is just small examples of it. All right. Anything you got? And if you could get, did you have that? Get that Acts. Go ahead. That's a good one.
This is Acts 6:1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
Right. So those Grecians are talking about these people. And when you look closely at these people are so-called Negroes, man. All right. In Greek dress, speaking Greek, acting Greek, man. Okay.
I got that definition for you too.
All right, because Greek was translated, man. All right, so you got to think about it too, man. If the history, the way it's been told, the false narrative that Esau has told, what slave masters make pottery and statues of their slaves? These people were not slaves; they were free people, man. Even though they were under control of the Edomite government, but yet they were free. All right. This is how you get art like that, going back to the time of the Grecians, man. And these artifacts and this history got left out of school. Matter of fact, this is showing you when Greece was translated from Japhet, the dark people, to the Edomites, when Alexander took over, man. Alexander of Macedon, who happens to be Alexander through the Bible. You can trace him back to Amalek, right? And Amalek is what? The grandson of Esau. As a matter of fact, the very video that this is being made in response to is an Amalekite, one of those issues. All right?
This is the Strong's number G1675 for Grecian, Hellenistas, and it says Hellenist, one who imitates the manners and customs or the worship of the Greeks and use of Greek tongue, used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek.
Now there you go. Now zoom in on these images of these coins of these Hebrews speaking Greek that were living in Greece, man. All right? You can't get around this, man. Okay? You can't get around it. Matter of fact, if you're wondering about the book, this book is called The Images of Black and Western Art. Okay? But it's showing you all these black people in Greece who were not slaves, who were free people living under the Greekish fashion. Why? Because there was a 400-year period when Alexander took over, and then the Maccabees rose up and fought and brought a lot of people back to the ways of the Bible, man, back to our customs. Matter of fact, do you have that verse 16, brother? Chapter 16, you can start at verse 1.
First Maccabees 16 and 1, it says, Then came up John from Gazara and told Simon his father what Sandebius had done. Wherefore Simon called his two eldest sons, Judas and John, and said unto them, I and my brethren and my father's house have ever from my youth unto this day fought against the enemies of Israel, and things have prospered so well in our hands that we have delivered Israel oftentimes. But now I am old, and ye, by the Most High's mercy, of a sufficient age, but ye instead of me and my brother, and go and fight for our nation.
Right. So basically, the hierarchy, because first we had already lost Mattathias, the father of Judas Maccabees, and then all you had now was left was Judas, Jonathan, and Simon, and now Judas and Jonathan are dead, and now Simon is old, so he's leaving his sons in his stead. All right. Okay, it was basically, and that was the Hasmonean dynasty. That's what that's called. This is in secular history, man. You can go on a computer or go to the library or go to encyclopedias and find this history, man. Okay? All right? And what did they do? They convert, because basically what this Edomite is trying to do, it's that same old battle, man. When they're trying to say that you got the Ishish saying that the Edomites are the Caucasians, and the Caucasians are saying that the Ishish are the Edomites. Yep. So you got this battle now. Shalom, brother.
They all the same people.
You got this battle now between Edomite Christians and Edomite Ishish, and they're all pointing fingers at each other, saying who's Edom and who's not. Because basically what this rabbi was saying was that the Ishish are Jacob and that the white Caucasians are Esau. That's what he was trying to say. All right, and then he broke down red and hairy. Red, and trying to say that it was talking about people with red hair or blonde hair, which is a lie. It was talking about their skin.
It literally says his skin.
Yeah, exactly.
It came out red all over.
It came out red all over. And they say he came out hairy all over. It said like a hairy garment, right? Garment that had been dyed red. All right. So shalom, brother. So go ahead, brother.
It says, and the help from heaven be with you. So he chose out of the country 20,000 men of war with horsemen who went out against Sandebius.
And actually jump down to verse 11, and we're going to read to the end.
All right, verse 11.
Right, because this what he's about to read is also can be found in the Josephus, in the Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 13, around the ninth chapter. All right, chapter 13, the 9th chapter. This history right here about John Hyrcanus and his sons, all right, who were Levites, can be found in the Josephus. Go ahead and read.
Verse 11. Moreover, in the plain of Jericho was Ptolemy is the son of Abubus, made captain, and he had abundance of silver and gold.
Right? And this is why we're not to trust our enemies, man. Okay, because read.
For he was the high priest's son-in-law.
Because why? Because when he converted, one of the mistakes he done, when he converted them Edomites to our ways of life, he married his daughter unto them. That's against the law. All right, and he says in Romans 15:10-4, it says the things that are written aforetime for our learning. You should have learned from the time of Samuel how when Saul tried to jump in the place of a priest and do a priestly's job back in that time. We weren't a nation of priests yet. That was Levi's job, man. So, I mean, that's just one example of how Jake be going off, man. All right, so he should have been marrying Amalek and the Edomites were our enemies, man. There's no reason that a Levite's priest or that high in the order should have had an Edomite for a son-in-law. Right. And what happened? Read.
Wherefore, his heart being lifted up, he thought to get the country to himself, and thereupon...
See, he thought to get the country to himself. He already was saying he was Jewish. All right, but go ahead.
And thereupon consulted deceitfully against Simon and his sons to destroy them.
So he's now going against the real Israelites, man. And he's just a convert. Read.
Now Simon was visiting the cities that were in the country and taking care for the good ordering of them, at the which time he came down himself to Jericho with his sons, Matthias and Judas.
Right.
In the 117th year, in the 11th month.
Right, so his other son John wasn't there, so it was Judas and Matthias, who were named for his father and his brother. Go ahead.
Called Sabbath, where the son of Abubus received them deceitfully into a little hold called Dachis, which he had built, made them a great banquet, howbeit he had hid men there.
Right, so he hid men inside of a room like a Trojan horse while they were eating and drinking and had all unarmed themselves. As a matter of fact, that's where they get that whole that part of when you see that story in the Red Wedding, the Red Wedding that was in the Game of Thrones. They stole that from the Bible, man. All right, that's where that came from. All right, the same thing happened in the Game of Thrones. They pulled that right out of the scripture. Go ahead.
So when Simon and his sons had drunk largely, Ptolemy and his men rose up and took their weapons and came upon Simon into the banqueting place and slew him and his 2 sons.
So they waited for them to be drunk, and then they slew him and his sons, man. All right, go ahead.
Servant of his servants.
And then what happened after that? We can fast forward to the future. Herod was now in control. A whole different race of people now controlled of Judaism. All right, so now you got these other people referring to themselves as Jewish. Now you have the Herodian dynasty, which was what? Set up by the Romans, who were what? Edomites. All right. Okay. The proof of that, we're going to go into this book. This is the Roman Empire of the Edomite, 1853, by William Beeston. William Beeston is a Cambridge scholar, man. And if this guy came to Chicago today, they would pay this man thousands of dollars to speak. But now all of a sudden, this Cambridge scholar doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay? So, you got something, brother? You got something, Ariella?
Yeah, I was holding for that Acts 29 when you quote on the Grecian, when you go into definition, it lets you know that.
This is Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
And you know Ptolemy was all welcoming and bowing to him, set up the drinks and the table, the food. They ate good. Well, at least he fed them and gave them good wine before he killed them. You know? Right. Right, don't give me cheap wine and bad food. Right. But there you go. That's a perfect example. Because you like Elder Apostle Gabar said, you have to envision the scriptures, man. So when he received them in, you know, they came in, they're mighty men, man. They had on their swords and their armor and they waited for them to get nice. And then they had some men go over and grab their swords and run away with them while the other men ran in with swords and put them to death, man. It was. Right, you waited for some men to get nice. Yeah, you waited for them. But see, it's like that video of that dude doing jiu-jitsu on people when they don't know.
Right.
Yeah. And he said, I like it when my opponents don't know that they're in a fight. Right. It helps keep my undefeated record. Right, you go to shake his hand and I started doing jiu-jitsu on you, man. All right, but hey, that was Esau, man. You know, you're in a fight with him when you don't know you're in a fight. It's like, man, if I knew we were in war, I'd have been ready for it. But you know, I thought we're drinking and being in peace here. You know, and now you jumping out the ceiling to come out of hole stabbing people. You know?
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, Thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Right, so no matter how Esau, you can't, basically, you can match that up right with what you can't make something that's unclean clean. Right? Esau can't be cleaned up, man. They're always going to be the wicked. All right, I don't care how nice they are to you. Okay? And if an Edomite's too nice, you might want to check his lineage. He may not be Esau, man.
Oh, he doing this right here.
Or he doing that right there.
Hey, this next verse. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
And did not the scriptures say that he wanted to take the country for himself?
That's right.
Is there more to that, brother? We're going to wrap it up.
Can I finish this verse up?
Come.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
There it is, man. And we'll go back to the way it says that he wanted the country for himself. That's a perfect precept. I got to remember to match those two up.
It says, verse 13, 1 Maccabees 16 and 13. Wherefore his heart be lifted up, he thought to get the country to himself.
Right, read that.
Sirach 12 and 12. Set him not by thee, lest we have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
There it is, man. That's two really good precepts right there. All right, because what is Esau saying now? He's going, hey, I was on my way here and I'm driving down the freeway and what I see off 94, right around around Armitage, a big image of Cesare bullshit. It's talking about Jesus loves you or some bullshit. So now they're claiming they're claiming to be the people of the Lord, and they're not. They're the Hebrew Edomites, man. All right, point blank, period. You got one, brother?
This is Sirach 13 and 4. If thou be for his prophet, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee. Which is what he was doing. Hey, like he was probably bowing.
Yeah,
down.
he was bowing. Right this way. He had the best seats in the house.
Finest of the wine.
Right.
He brought that good wine out too.
Yeah. Because he got him nice. He brought out the good wine. And I'm pretty sure he had someone, he probably said, never let him see the bottom of his cup. All right? Because I remember being in a bar where the bartender was one of my students. All right? And she gave that order. Never let him see the bottom of his cup. It's like every time I had it's like, damn, didn't I just finish this? Man, I got so drunk that damn night. but yes, I never saw the bottom of my cup because every time I thought I finished it, it was another, I had a fresh, I'm like, damn. Right? And I'm sure that's what he did. He had someone go around and they just kept pouring the wine. They ate real good. I'm sure they had fruit and lamb and, you know.
If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what one is thou?
Man, damn devil, man. You got something, Ariel?
Just to get the point that you had hit in the Corinthians about prophesying with your head covered.
Come.
This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 4. It says, every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonored his head.
Right, so they not the people, man. That goes to Wisdom of Solomon 2nd chapter. And they the Edomites, because Ezekiel 36 tells us Edom will be the one to take our land. Edom will be the one to take our heritage, all right? So they're the wicked, according to Malachi 1 and 4. And Wisdom of Solomon 2 says it plainly. They are a clean contrary. So the fact they do that, the fact they do everything, they got gay parades, Rainbow City in our land, they're not the people, man. They Edomites,
That's
man.
right.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Hey, so with that, we're going to give all praise and glory and honor to
Power, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Ba'akadash.
Ba.